The keys to your success, fellas, is how you treat the women in your lives. Now, I know society has us thinking that with all these gender wars, we're supposed to hate each other, you know? The men hate the women and the women hate the men. And if you're a high value woman or a high value man, or if you're alpha and whatever, right? If you want true success in all levels, physical success, financial success, emotional success, spiritual success, intellectual success, success in health, wealth, abundance, that is a direct reflection of how you treat the women in your lives, your mothers, your aunties, your female cousins, your girlfriends, your wives, even the random women that you don't even know. You can't be opening the door for your love interest, but then when you see a random woman, you're just like, oh, I'm not interested in her. I'm not even gonna open the door for her. No, that's not how this game goes. And when I mean game, I'm talking about the game of life. Because we're here to play, right? And what you give out is what you receive in return. Now, I can only talk about my own personal experiences, right? But I've noticed I have an amazing support system of men in my life, right? Sure, some experiences I've had with men were not the greatest, but you know, I see those experiences as lessons. There was obviously something I had to learn from that specific guy that now I learned it and I'm stronger. But what I've noticed, right, is that these men in my life have poured into me. And because they've poured into me, creating that foundation of safety and security, sorry, hairs in my eye, creating that safety, that foundation of safety and security, not just financially. Because I know the talk has always been about finances, you know, and that's why a lot of men out there are not interested in providing that foundation, because they think it's just all about money and they don't want any gold diggers around them, right? First of all, you need to have money, gold, for gold diggers to want to, you know, dig you. Just saying, you know. And a lot of you guys don't even have money anyways, right? A lot of men don't have the type of money that gold diggers want. So don't worry about those gold diggers. But if you're looking for a wholesome woman in your life, you have to provide the foundation of safety and security financially, safety and security emotionally. That's right. You got to open up emotionally. You got to provide a safe space for her to open up emotionally and to communicate. There's also safety and security spiritually, safety and security physically, intellectually, energetically, and of course, you know, sexually, which I know y'all love to do. It's like a carnal desire, so, you know. But I find a lot of men struggle to do all of those. And the beauty about it is that when you're able to provide all of those things, or at least some of it on the list, and you're able to ease the burden of that woman in your life, whether it's your mom, your sister, your daughters, especially for your daughters, because they need a representation of what it is to expect from the men that will be coming into their lives, the wives, the mother of your children, your girlfriends. When you ease that burden in that woman's life, she will move mountains for you. Okay? And I'm not talking about giving that back to you, meaning she's going to give you back the money and give you back, you know, that emotional support and give you back that sexual support and give you back that intellectual support. I mean, that too, right? But you have to understand that men, you guys are doers. Women, we are receivers. Y'all do, we receive. Y'all do, and we just be. Okay? Our natural state is to be. Your natural state is to do. I did not make the rules. It's by design. It's nature. And when a man can just do, he accepts that that's his role in life, to just do and not fight about it, just do. And he did his healing, and he vets properly, and he meets the right woman, and he pours into her by creating that foundation, right? And he provides a home, or he provides a house. That woman's gonna make that house into a home just from her being. Now, I know in the spiritual community, sometimes you like to think that when you have your chakras all aligned, you're a sovereign human being, which you are. Your crown chakra is usually, it's at the base of your head, and it's in charge of you having connection to consciousness, Christ consciousness, you know, to the ethers. As women, we don't just have our crown, we also have our sacral. Our sacral is where everything blooms. We start creation from here, right? That is why we can just be. Being is a creative factor for us just naturally. So when a man can finally just, you know, surrender to the natural order of life, then life rewards him. And so going back to my point, because you know I like to ramble on and on, so I hope I'm making sense. But when men, and from my personal experience, when the men in my life have provided a strong foundation for me to be, their business improves, their quality of life improves, their health improves. Just from providing that foundation for me, the woman. Now, I'm not special in particular. However, I know who I am. I know the power that I have. And I know that I'm not trying to be just out here being an independent person all day, every day. I know the beauty that happens when you have a man and a woman come together, not just in relationships, but just in connection. Okay? Now, this whole topic came about because someone had left me a message, a comment on one of my videos. And in the video, he basically said, now I know this was meant to be a compliment, right? He said, "You seem so soft, feminine, and sincere. This is what is lacking in society at the moment. We now have females that have taken on masculine traits." Now, like I said, I know this was meant to be a compliment. But what this brother didn't understand is that the reason why I'm able to be this way is because of the men in my life. I couldn't have been soft and feminine if I had to go to a job every day and work 80 hours a week. You would not be getting softness from me. That's a fact. You would not be getting softness from me. You'd be getting a different version of Ashley. That's not cute. That's aggressive. okay? Because when I'm angry, I'm pissed off, I want things now, and I'm blunt, and it's not cute. And what I'm trying to convey to you guys, to men especially, is that a lot of the women that you see around you on TV or in real life that are very soft and feminine is because the men in their life have created the groundwork, the foundation for them to be that way. Where now you, the bystander, can appreciate it. And now I'm not saying that women can't be soft and feminine on their own, but it's a lot harder to maintain it over a long period of time when you don't have that foundation of safety and security. And yes, women can provide for themselves. We see that happen all the time. But then when do they get to actually turn that off and just relax and just be, you know? I remember when I was in my relationships, you know, it was such a joy to not have to think about shit. Okay? All of my exes, you know, I let them lead because I don't want to have to think about nothing. I just want to be. And when the dynamic is like that, it flows very nicely. And this is not possible for all women because the men that are in their lives, they have to lead them. How can you feel comfortable enough to drop into your femininity when the man in your life, your husband, your boyfriend, the father of your child, your dad, don't know how to lead? The decisions that they made in life is very questionable. It makes it hard for you to trust as a woman when you have these characteristics in these men in your life. So fellas, the keys to your success is how you treat the women in your life. And if you don't know how to do that, you should not be dating anyone. Take some time away, focus on you, right? Build some leadership qualities. Join a brotherhood. Befriend couples, specifically with the men, where you look up to them. You see the way they treat their wives. You see the way they treat their mothers. You see how the mothers and the wives and the aunties and the daughters, you see how they're just, you know, blooming in their feminine energy. How much of a delight they are to be around. It's because the men in the lives of those women built that foundation of safety and security, because that is all women really care about. Love is great, love is nice, but in the great words of Tina Turner, what does love got to do with it when there's no safety and security? Safety and security can't ensure that we are fed, the kids are fed, there's a roof over our heads. You know what I mean? Pour into the women in your lives in any way that you can. And while you're learning to build certain skill set to pour into them more, be patient with yourself. Don't rush. A lot of young guys out there that are, you know, you're fresh out of college, you know, you don't need to be dating. You know, work on your money, work on healing, finding out who you are as a person. Make yourself whole, okay, before you jump into relationships. Don't get hitched with a woman just because you need help paying bills, okay? Build that momentum for yourself first. Strengthen yourself first. Get in the gym, eat healthy. Be a sovereign person so that when you meet a woman that you like, you're not overcompensating. You can get to know her in a very relaxed way because you know the qualities that you have because you spent a long time building them. Character development. We need each other. Okay? Stop paying attention to these gender wars. They're not here to help you. They're here to divide you. Work on yourself. Work on what you actually want out of life. Work on the type of woman that you actually want. And here's another topic. Here's another point I want to make. Stop focusing on just looks. Stop focusing on just looks. Just as how women should stop focusing on just money, okay? There's so much to a woman than how she looks. Because looks fade. Looks fade. And if you don't have a proper foundation, then what? What you gonna do? You're gonna be looking at her and she's gonna be looking at you. Like the woman you're actually with. A lot of y'all don't like the woman you're with. And that's why it's hard for you to want to pour into her. Because you secretly hate her. You secretly can't stand her. And some of y'all secretly can't stand your moms either. And I get that. Mother wounds, father wounds are very hard. And that's why I keep saying, I'm going to keep saying it again and again and again. Heal. Heal yourself. Go to therapy. Get assistance. End that trauma in your life so that you can bring to you the type of woman that you don't need to worry about if they're a gold digger or not. When you heal and you allow yourself to clear out all of those negative experiences and negative memories and just, you know, your environmental stuff. When you grow up watching your the women in your life, the women in your family's life not doing what they're supposed to do as women, and then the men in their life not doing what they're supposed to do as men, it takes a toll on you. And if you don't do the proper healing, it becomes your reality of what you expect to happen in relationships. And that's a slippery slope. And in order to create a reality where you're attracting wholesome relationships with women, you're reconnecting with the women in your life, whether it's your mother, your aunts, the daughters of your the daughters in your life, sorry. I just lost my train of thought. Anywho, basically what I'm saying is it starts with you. And if we're gonna go by the whole patriarchy, y'all are supposed to be the leaders. You guys are supposed to be the leaders. And how can we follow you if y'all are doing fuckery? Okay, we're not gonna follow the fuckery. We need more leaders. We need more men that are willing to stand up to do the right thing. We need more men holding other men accountable. And just so you know, some of our billionaires and millionaires and trillionaires out there, they know what I'm talking about. They usually have a lot of feminine energy around them. And they usually treat these women in their lives very well because they understand that the keys to your success is how you treat the women in your lives. Okay? So I'm gonna leave that for now for you to ponder. But in the meantime, guys, peace.